My name is Tyler Slaydon. I'm going to be going over the effects of ADHD on kids and kind of how they play into physical education. So, what is ADHD? Are there any special considerations? ADHD is a disorder that makes it difficult for a person to pay attention and control impulsive behaviors. He or she may also be restless and almost constantly active. Factors such as genetics and/or environment can play a role to whether a child develops ADHD. Although ADHD is seen to be most common in children, it can continue into adolescence and even adulthood. Hyperactivity usually gets better with time, but the student will most times struggle with disorganization, inability to concentrate, and poor impulse control. Other than trouble with concentration, being hyperactive, there is no reason to treat a student with ADHD any different than a student without this disorder. Creating a plan. When creating an education plan, it is important to remember the student's lack of ability to stay on task and with what's going on in the classroom. For the teacher, creating a classroom environment that is interesting to the student would be extremely beneficial. Since the student can tend to be hyperactive, a curriculum that involves a lot of movement will help the student stay on task with the rest of the class. If a teacher is able to get the student with ADHD interested in the class, the student will excel due to their willingness to be active, therefore becoming extremely driven in whatever interests them. Behavioral characteristics. Students with ADHD do not have many problems with behavioral issues. Most times, if there are any issues, it will be presented as a student becoming frustrated with his or her inability to concentrate or staying on task in school. This frustration can then manifest into depression in rare cases, so although it's not common, it should still be kept in mind. Those who have this disorder can also come across as rude because of their impulsive habits. Habits such as interrupting others, intruding on others' conversations, or having trouble waiting their turn can also play a part in hurt them in a social setting because they can't help but sometimes butting in on other people's conversations. There are some non-stimulant ADHD medications that are known to cause mood swings when they're taken. When this medication is taken, the person should be watched carefully to see if mood changes become long term. So even though the non-stimulant medications are not as common as a stimulant, and these side effects of having mood swings are not common, they should still be watched for if this child is given a non-stimulant. So just watch them over. They should be watched over time to make sure that this long-term or that these mood changes aren't long-term. And so if they are, doctors should be seen so that way something can be changed to where the mood changes don't happen. To help a student with ADHD learn how to be patient, making them wait and giving a positive reward or reinforcement will help to teach them to control the impulsiveness that comes naturally. Rewarding them with either just a good job or giving some other type of reward for them waiting and not butting in on other people will help them learn that okay, it's a good thing that that I'm not butting in, and it'll help them focus on making sure that they're not butting in. Taking time to expend the student's energy will help to control their urge to act out and be at the center of attention. It can assist with letting the child let their frustrations out that come with ADHD. That it'll help them get that out. Attention ADHD does not have any effort or effect on a student's motor function, their ability to move or exercise. Exercise is known to have several positive effects on ADHD and its symptoms. It is shown that exercise can reduce the stress and anxiety levels while also improving cognitive function. It is not common for any medication that is used to treat ADHD to cause any decrease in a person's motor function. ADHD with physical education. Oftentimes, kids with ADHD become more involved with PE because of their want to be active, but for some, PE is the worst part of the day because of it being filled with potential embarrassment opportunities. For students with ADHD, it is uncommon to fear, it is not uncommon to fear missing a step in a game that requires them to remember multi-step directions, games that are highly competitive, such as football and baseball. These require many steps in order to play the game. These games wouldn't be the best option for the student who has ADHD. They would would struggle to find the confidence to play the game, and because they think that there's a possibility that it can embarrass them because they may miss a step. If a student is unwilling to participate in a competitive setting because they're anxious about failing, a good way for a teacher to get them active is to put them in a sport or activity that is not competitive. Activities such as running, swimming, riding bikes, hide and go seek, tag, these are great ways to get the child moving and get their heart rate up. Any way that a teacher can reduce the amount of stress that a student is under will help that student succeed more. Individual sports are better for kids who struggle with ADHD. It allows for a one-on-one coaching experience. When in individual sports, the coaching dynamic is much more focused on an athlete, and it's better for the children with ADHD because there are few distractions from other athletes that are their age, and they won't get distracted playing with them, and instead they can focus on their coach and they can focus on what they're supposed to be doing. The individual sport also allows for a person to experience being a part of a team because often an individual score will contribute to a team's overall score. Sports such as track and field, swimming, golf, the scores that the individual gets goes into the team, and they can get the benefits of being a part of a team but not having to react to others and not having to there's not a chance of them getting distracted by others whenever they're competing. A lot of those moving parts that happen in a team sport are negative effect on a person with ADHD because people with ADHD naturally have a hard time focusing. So by eliminating that and putting them in an individual sport, it allows the student with ADHD to really focus on what they're supposed to be doing and to be able to put their best foot forward and compete. And here are my works cited articles that have to deal with the medication for ADHD, general facts about ADHD, and talk in another article that talks about what sports are best